To create room for the base, flatten out an area with at least 75 blocks long and 55 blocks wide. After all the digging, you can start to construct the actual base. In each corner, mirror these tower designs. Remember that the distance between the far corners of each tower is the length and width that I told you to dig out. If I walked you through every block placement, the tutorial would be extremely long and would frustrate the fast builders. If the tutorial isn't adequate, you have the option of becoming one of my patrons. With that, PC users can access the world download and have instructions on how to use the world. The price to become a patron is currently $4. I wish it could be free, but I can't do this full time unless if I'm making money. I'm also working on adding a schematic download so you can see what to place and where. But of course, you would have to have a mod installed to do that. Alright, I'm hoping that was enough filler so you can see the full construction of the tower. It's a simple design, there's just a lot of blocks to place. I built everything from the ground up to help you see what's being placed. After you finish the tower, you can start on the walls. The pattern is the same all the way around, minus the gate. On the side with the gate, the walls extend 20 blocks on each side to leave the gap in the middle. This portion shouldn't take a long time to show because it's the same thing repeated a bunch of times. After the perimeter is complete, you can start on the gate. Each of the supports are 7 by 7 blocks wide. Bottom of the gate is alternating between nether brick fences and spruce fences so they don't connect and players can walk right through them. Each of the gate towers are obviously the same, so just focus on one side and mirror it if you have to. You may be wondering how I'm able to build this layer by layer. While I'm building, I'm referencing the finished version of the build. Here, I'll just show you what I'm referencing. When you finish the base of the actual gate, you move on to the top, which is cosmetic. The top of the gate is cosmetic because it appears to actually function to open the gate. The oak fences are like cables that roll up the gate when the gears are turned. You don't have to use iron blocks for the beam, but they do look super sturdy and they fit the style of the base. Honestly, I spent ages redesigning the gate and it's still not amazing, but I do like it. I do like how I was able to have log pillars go from the bottom to the top of the gate. Okay, let's move on to the buildings within the base. Lay out the 7 by 7 plots for the housing in the corner. I did mess up and place some slabs instead of stairs, but I fixed it. Now place 8 3-high oak log pillars. I guess the type of wood you use in this build can be whatever you want. Since this base design is called Team Fortress, you have to have multiple places for players to sleep and keep their emergency respawn supplies. I happen to like this arrangement, but you don't have to keep it this way. Though, the red bed is a requirement, otherwise you are a psychopath. The houses are super simple, so just finish it up. When you're finished, you can mix it up with a 2-person house, which is essentially the same thing. The base is 15 by 7 blocks. Just follow what's happening and remember that the trapdoors are spruce trapdoors. The chains are a common theme in this base design, and I do think it's a nice touch. Originally, I went way too heavy on the chains in the design, so I decided to scale it back. Remember to add lanterns in the houses like so. The roofs were originally pretty complicated, but I simplified them so they could remain consistent across the base. Next to the house, place 8 stone brick slabs in this pattern with 5 air blocks between each of them. Then fill in the foundation for the barracks in this way. Make the stairway for the entrance, then follow these block placements. And then start filling in the cobblestone wall. I made a mistake, and I fixed it as you can see. I built this layer by layer to make it easy to follow. I guess now you can place chests with war supplies and armor stands. And top it off with some bunk beds, I guess. Place another layer to seal off the top, and remember to place these upside down stairs on this side. Now follow this simple pattern and place more stairs to complete the balcony on the left side. Keep following what I do, and then the tricky part comes. Loop upside down stairs and do it on both sides. Now just alternate blocks. I guess that wasn't too tricky. Place a 5-high oak log pillar here and another one separated by 5 air blocks. Mirror that on the other side. Now you can loop cobblestone stairs around the pillars in this pattern. Within that, make a 3-high stone brick wall, but leave a 3-block gap for the entrance. Place stacks of hay bales and fences to attach horses to with leads. Now fill in the rest with stone bricks and create the stair and slab arch at the entrance. The upside down stairs are a different pattern than the stairs on the ground, so notice the difference. Now loop oak stairs around, but make sure you place planks at the corner. Fill in the platform with planks and loop around upside down stairs to complete the balcony thing. Now finish that up with fences and lanterns. For the mine shaft, go to the center of the base. Center yourself by lining up with the middle of the gate and have 21 air blocks between you and the stone brick stair on the back wall. Place logs around you separated by 3 blocks and then surround it with the same stair, slab, and block combination from the houses. Now extend the log pillars another 3 blocks high. Use cobblestone walls as archways and then place 2 stone brick walls. Place a chain and a bell in the middle and then another chain beneath the other wall. Then place more chains around the pillars. Now let's start on the mine shaft. It's a repeating pattern all the way down, so I'll just show you how to do one segment and repeat that. You can dig out the 5x5 hole all the way to where you want to go, or you can dig as you progress. In each corner, you have an oak log pillar to serve as a support. The cobblestone pillar extends all the way down with ladders attached. The chain should also extend all the way down because it's meant to be a way for someone in the mines to get the attention of the people on the surface. I know it doesn't actually work like that in game, but it's like a game of pretend. The segment that repeats over and over is the slabs and stairs. The top and bottom of the segment is oak plank slabs. The stairs angle angle in this pattern over and over and over. They do get interrupted by the cobblestone pillar. The stairs appear to become a full block, but notice that the top and bottom slabs occupied 2 different block spots. The pattern repeats as far as you want to go. I'll speed this up a bit so you don't have to skip this part of the tutorial because you get the point. I decided to go all the way to the Y level -32. You don't have to stop at that point, but I did. But you need to make your item elevator at the right spot. The soul sand needs to be 6 air blocks away from the threshold of the mine shaft. Then follow this pattern with the logs, stairs, lanterns, and nether brick fences. You can start placing the water now if you want. Keep digging, placing oak logs and lanterns for as long as you want, until you decide you want to place the nether portal. The nether portal is in the mines because of the lore. The citizens of the fortress are made uncomfortable by the magical contraption, and it has a nasty habit of leaking the nether into the overworld. I just realized when I was writing the script for this tutorial that I forgot to include a place for enchanting, so I guess it's up to you where to put it, but if you want to stay consistent with the lore, put it in the mine. For the nether portal room, just dig out a room, make a portal, and place random nether blocks, nether wart, and lava like the nether is infiltrating the overworld. For the strip mine, you can dig out pathways adjacent to the item elevator and make tunnels. You don't have to do it the way I did it, just do it how you want. I didn't really put a lot of thought into it, so just make something up. Now you can move on to the item elevator. Essentially what you need to do is build a column of water all the way to the surface. Each block needs to be a water source block for it to work, but you can use the kelp trick I showed in the first tutorial in order to accomplish that. If you encounter caves, place blocks around the tube to keep water from going everywhere, and so all the items stay inside. The point of the item elevator is you can send your items into the storage system without going all the way up to the surface. You can also use the item elevator to travel all the way to the surface much faster than the ladder if you want. I guess the ladder in the mine shaft is essentially for show and so you can catch your fall when you're jumping down into the mine. When you finally reach the surface, you can finish the simple roof for the mine shaft building. Create the 13 by 23 base for the storage building 3 air blocks away from the mine shaft, but place 2 sets of 3 stairs mirrored on each side, with the side stairs being corner stairs. Now fill in a 3 wide ring of stone bricks within the shell. Dig 4 blocks down in the remaining space and use cobblestone for the walls and floor. Also add 3 block wide stone brick staircases in the correct locations. If you want, you can use the basement to show off your wealth and place the extra bits in the barrels next to the piles. Top it off with glass. Dip even more into your oak log supplies with 10 block tall pillars in these specific locations. They are all separated by either 3 or 1 air blocks. Fill in all the 3 wide spots with cobblestone walls 8 blocks high, but leave the doorways open. After you place oak gates to serve as doors, copy the simple design in front of each of the 1 block gaps, and place chains 3 high in the corners and in front of the middle pillars in the front and back. Now just do a ring of stone bricks all the way around and mirror the bottom portion on top of the ring. On the sides of the water elevator, place columns of barrels on their sides and place a column of trapdoors in front. Place a block of ice on top of the right barrel column with the pressure plate and follow along with everything I'm placing. The point of this is to create an item stream that the item elevator feeds into. The item stream feeds the items into the columns of chests with the gaps in the wall. When placing the hopper tower, place the hoppers going into the column of blocks in front. I use glass just so you can see what I'm doing. After you've placed 7, place a hopper facing into the top one and a hopper facing into that one. Make sure you follow the exact placements that I have going on here. Break the blocks next to the hoppers if they weren't already chests and place a column of chests in their place. You can't place 2 trapdoors in the same location, so place oak wood in each of the corners. Follow along with exactly what I'm doing. Remember that the trapdoors are placed right next to the item stream but are open to contain the water. Pattern is pretty much the same all the way around, but these are very specific placements, so follow along. If you see items not showing up the chests when you send items into the elevator, you probably placed the hoppers incorrectly. It's important to loop the item stream just in case the hoppers don't have enough room at the moment for the items. The items won't despawn, they'll just loop around until space opens up. If you haven't already, place the water source blocks to the left of the ice blocks. You can follow along with my barrel and chest placements if you want, or don't if you don't want to. One thing that I realized when building is that you can't open chests with ice blocks right above it, so I changed the design mid-tutorial to accommodate that. I ended up placing stairs to fill the gap. I placed the stairs even where I didn't have to, just to keep the chest pillars consistent. You could go with all barrels or move the ice blocks to only be above barrels, but it's too late in the tutorial to do that and all barrels wouldn't look good. To get proper chain and lantern depth, build out from this point in the middle and place 3 chains and a lantern. Also do the same in the center and the other point. We will need to place more chains when the roof is built, but this gives you an idea of where the lanterns should be located. Place lanterns all around above the chains and stone brick pillars. Place 2 more chains above each of the lanterns in the middle. Place these rings of stone bricks looping all around in this descending pattern. It's a very simple design as you can see, but it looks the best from what I've found. On the top bit, keep the roof flat. The interior should look like this. Now let's get to work on the market where the villagers reside. All of these buildings are just suggestions and you can follow along, but it doesn't really matter. You can make them any shape you want, include whatever you want. All that matters is the general design and making sure that villagers can't get out. You can include the chest if you want, but it's important to have workstations like a composter so you can actually trade with the villagers. A nice touch is things like item frames, maps, and flower pots. The color of the checkered wool can be whatever you think looks best. I went with mainly random colors, but the brighter the better. The goal of the villagers' tents is to grab your attention so you'll do business with them. Just keep following along with the general idea and make about 4 of these things. They can vary in size, shape, direction, and whatever else you can think of. And you can cram in as many villagers as you deem fit. We only have 3 more houses left, so let's start on the forge. Place 14 5-block tall pillars in this pattern, all separated by 3 air blocks. Fill in a ring of stone bricks, and then do 3x3 placements of cobblestone walls. Extend a platform of stone bricks 9 blocks away from the pillars, but make a corner out of stairs. Place 4 campfires here and a hay bale right over there. For the floor, scatter various types of blocks like basalt, tuff, cobblestone, gravel, andesite, stone, and cracked stone bricks. Then fill in the rest of the space with stone bricks. Follow along with what I'm doing with the logs and placing more of the walls. The walls within the building are arched to serve as a doorway. Now place the types of furnaces and cobblestone walls 5 high in this pattern. Smokers, furnaces, and blast furnaces. Connect the last bits of logs, place the campfire, and add iron bars. For the chimney, build up using this assortment of blocks, but use more stone bricks and less basalt as you go up. It gives the illusion that the fireplace is actually being used and that the blocks are getting scorched. The roof is pretty simple, but can seem a little confusing at parts, so follow along with what I'm doing. I know I say that a lot, but I can't describe where to place each of the tens of thousands of blocks. If you need to, just focus on one side and mirror it when you finish it. In the back, place iron bars as ventilation for all the smelting going on within the building. Keep following along with the roof placements until you finish the back. Then follow the simple pattern in the front. I didn't tell you how tall to make the chimney because I didn't know when building it. So now just make sure to extend it 3 blocks above the roof. Also, you can decorate the interior with mounds of coal blocks. It's a connection to the stacks of resources in the storehouse. The door to the forge is a simple oak fence and gate combo. Place some cauldrons full of lava and decorate with some levers facing down. Then use this design for a water basin and place an armor stand with bits of armor pieces. Create this simple anvil stand and then place the anvil. Make a 5-block tall basalt pillar with bits facing out. The grindstone chains and levers are meant to mimic the function of a machine used in medieval forges. Place basalt around the campfires, fill in with lava, and make a smooth stone slab counter. For the elixir storage, brewery, place more basalt and brewing stands for making potions. After you place all the basalt, start placing the glass. The glass placements aren't super straightforward, but you can see how it's done. I'm stalling so you can see where the glass gets placed. After you finish placing the glass, scatter bits of purple concrete powder, purple concrete, and purple stained glass. Then finish covering it up. The carpentry house goes right next to the brewery. After you create these mirrored 6 wide walls, place some fences in the back and add decoration. The decorations include lanterns, scaffolding, candles, flower pot with a flower, and a trapdoor. The important things are the crafting table, loom, and cartography table. Fill in the floor and then recreate the simple roof design using slabs and planks. The scaffolding with the slabs on top is some sort of workstation. It's been a while since I've actually worked construction, so I kind of forgot what they're called. Place piles of oak logs with railroad tracks holding them together to serve as a cosmetic lumber supply. Also include the random oak log, which is where the carpenter chops random bits of wood apart. If you're cool, make her spawn an iron golem and name him Ted. He's the town guard. I'm tired of spending so many hours on this tutorial, so I'm not going to walk you through the last bit, which is building the paths. Build paths with whatever you want, like scattering path blocks, coarse dirt, gravel, cobblestone, podzol, and whatever this one kind of dirt is. The last step is just to get a bunch of bone meal and bone meal the grass within and around the base. It makes things look a lot better. Since I spend so many hours on these tutorials, I have to start charging to be able to keep making them. After this is uploaded, all the subsequent tutorials will be only for my patrons. It costs $4 to become a patron, and you can do that using the link in the description of this video.